Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and honorable speakers. Welcome to today's debate with the motion, "This House believes that all education should be free." Let me briefly explain the flow of today's debate. Each side will consist of three speakers. The first and second speaker will deliver constructive arguments, while the third speaker will focus on rebuttals and strengthening their team's case. Let us begin with the affirmative team, who will argue in favor of the motion. Inviting the first speaker of the affirmative, you have 5 minutes. Ms. Baca, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much for the time. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm wkwkw, the first speaker from affirmative side. I would like to present my argument on the motion. This House believes that all education should be free, which means the government believes that all process of learning in school, colleges, or universities should be free. This motion is important to discuss because we are currently facing a serious education inequality crisis. Millions of children still lack access to quality and affordable education. Therefore, we must discuss this motion. I agree with the motion because education is a fundamental right and a major factor in the development of a country. Inequality is decreased when education is made equally accessible and free, and it ensures that every child, regardless of economic background, can achieve their full potential. Many families in Indonesia, especially in rural areas or from low-income groups, struggle to pay for school-related expenses like transportations, uniforms, books, and extracurricular fees. Free education that covers all expenses.
If I mean all education, did you mean all education from primary school to university, and also does religious school count in that?
By all means, I mean is from elementary school to a university that is public, like public schools. Does that answer the question?
Does religious school count?
If the religious school is part of the public school, then it's yes, it's part of it.
Thank you.
I will continue my argument. Free education that covers all expenses help children from poor families stay in school longer, giving them a better chance at future employment and breaking the cycle of poverty. In a country like Indonesia, where economic disparities are significant between urban and rural areas, free education can serve as a tool for social mobility and national progress. When a significant percentage of the population lacks education or skills, the country cannot develop. Indonesia requires a large, educated, knowledgeable about technology and creative workforce in order to compete in the global economy. With free education, more people can attend school and university, creating a larger, more competent workforce, which helps reduce unemployment, increase productivity, and attract investments. According to data from BPS, Badan Pusat Statistik, as of 2023, there are still over 4.3 million children in Indonesia who drop out of school, and one of the main reasons is financial difficulty. While basic education, like I said before, elementary school to high school is nominally free under the BOS, Bantuan Operasional Sekolah programs, families are still required to pay for uniforms, books, transportation, and various fees. Moreover, access to free higher education remains limited. A 2021 survey by Semeru Research Institute highlighted that only around 20% of youth from the lowest income families pursue higher education, compared to more than 60% from the wealthiest families. This clearly shows that the current system does not provide equal educational opportunities. Therefore, to ensure equality and national progress, all levels of education in Indonesia, from early childhood to university, should be made fully free, including indirect costs like This is not just a matter of fairness, but of national development. A more educated population leads to a more skilled workforce, lower unemployment, and a stronger economy. Free education is an investment, not a burden. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Baca of the affirmative. Ms. Baca spent 4 minutes and 33 seconds. Now let us hear from the first speaker of the opposition who will present their team's stance against the motion. You have 5 minutes, Ms. Cynthia. The time is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cynthia, and I'm standing here today to oppose the motion that all education should be free. While free education sounds like a perfect solution, in reality, it brings many problems that can harm both of student and society. Our job as the opposition is to explain why making all education free is not the best idea. We will show that it can cause financial problems, reduce education quality, and even discourage students from valuing their education. First, let's talk reality, not dreams. Free education means massive taxpayer money. The more the government spends to fund free education for everyone, the less it can spend on other vital services like healthcare, public safety, infrastructure, and poverty reduction. Is that a risk we're willing to take? Education cannot be funded by magic. It will come from your pockets, my pockets, or the people's money. Second, quality suffers. Why are the world-best universities like Oxford, Harvard, and IT not free? Because excellence costs. Teachers, researchers, laboratories, and technology all require serious investment. Making everything free lowers competition, kills innovation, and risks turning university into overcrowded, underfunded factories churning out degree with a little real-world value. Third, where is the student personal stake? When education is entirely free, some students lose discipline and motivation. Take Germany for example, where university education is free. Students there take an average of 7 years to finish a 3 year degree. Why? Because when you don't pay, you don't feel the weight of the commitment. Look at South Africa, where free university education was introduced. It caused protests and strikes because universities become overcrowded and underfunded. UNESCO 2023 report shows that fully free tertiary education is economically unsustainable in 80% of developing countries, leading to overcrowded classes and lower teaching quality. Meanwhile, countries like the US and UK, through expensive, produce the world-leading innovation, groundbreaking research, and Nobel laureates because their education system are funded well through tuition and state partnerships. And Germany, as I said, students linger longer in university than needed, causing stagnation and wasting resources that could have served first learners. So, what happens when all education is free? The system collapses under its own weight, quality drops, responsibility fades, and the future dims. That is why, ladies and gentlemen, this house should not believe that all education must be free. To sum up, we oppose the motion because free education for all is expensive, lower quality, and can reduce students' motivation. A fair and effective system balances accessibility with quality and sustainability. Instead of free education for all, government should focus on supporting students who truly need help through scholarship and financial aid. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Ms. Cynthia of the opposition. Ms. Cynthia spent 3 minutes and 35 seconds. Now let us hear from the second speaker of the affirmative. You have 5 minutes. Ms. Dwi, the time is yours.
Okay, thank you, moderator. I'm Dwi Lutfia, the second speaker of affirmative. First of all, thank you, opposition. But let us clarify some points. You argue that free education is too expensive and unsustainable, yet ignore how investing in education is the key to long-term national development. Countries like Finland and Germany not only afford it but thrive because of it, showing that free education can work with proper management. Quality does not depend solely on money, but on how education is prioritized and structured. Blaming students' delays on free education ignores other cultural and structural factors. Also, saying that students only value what they pay or undermines those who study hard despite having nothing. Education is not privilege. It is a right. Ensuring access for all is a moral and social obligation. That is why, moving forward, we firmly stand with the idea that all education must be made free for all Indonesian people from elementary school to college education in Indonesia. Because education is a basic human right of every citizen guaranteed by various laws and regulations in Indonesia. Education is also not a luxury thing that should only be enjoyed by those with economics means, but rather a necessity that determines the future of an individual and the nation. Therefore, I strongly agree that all levels of education should be free. With the provision of free education for all Indonesian citizens, I believe this can improve the quality of human resources, reduce social inequality, and encourage economic growth. In this case, not only the society benefits, but the country also benefits from having improved human resources compared to before. According to Pasal 31 Ayat 2 UUD 1945, the government has an obligation to finance the education of every citizen. This shows that education in Indonesia should rightfully be free for our citizens. Even developed countries like Germany, Finland, and many others implement free education from primary education to higher education. In fact, according to the HDI Human Development Index in 2025, Germany and Finland rank among the top 15 countries with high human development. Therefore, it has been proven that these countries produce high quality human resource to the presence of quality free education. So in my opinion, education is not just an idealism, but a basic necessity and obligation for Indonesian society, as well as a strategy to build a better future for the nation. If the country wants to improve the quality of human resources and reduce social inequality, then the provision of free education must be realized evenly. Therefore, I strongly agree that all levels of education in Indonesia should be made free for all Indonesians. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dwi of the affirmative. Ms. Dwi spent 3 minutes and 14 seconds. Now let us hear from the second speaker of the opposition. You have 5 minutes. Mr. Rizky, the time is yours.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I, Maulana Rizal Farisi, standing here today as Speaker 2 of opposition team on the motion of all education shall be free. But before I present my own argument, I want to argue what the affirmation team. First, let's Isa. You say that all education shall be free because it will increase equality in Indonesian people. Yes, I agree. But you forgot your own motion here. Your motion is all education, which means all, from primary school to university. The example you present is can only be solved with the primary schools. It makes primary school education free, like the cover the fees, the extracurricular uniform, books. It was all primary schools cost, not college student. College student cost really a lot. So if you want to make the college or university education free, you have to choose between improve the rural area education or make all education be free. You cannot choose both of them. Secondly, you said that in the first world country like Finland, Germany, the education is free. Miss Tui, you forgot one thing, that the country you mentioned is the first world country. Our country, Indonesia, is a developed country. Their country has hundred, even 1,000 decades or historic prosperity. Their foundation is really strong. Our foundation is just like what? 75 years. We cannot compare that. And you said, according to Article 31, Paragraph 2 of the 1945 Constitution, government has an obligation to finance the education of every state, which the government already did. The Constitution doesn't say all education. The Constitution only says education. So I think your argument is not really strong there. And I want to say, and as Ms. Cynthia said, the building that was used as the education faculty, the worker, the teacher, the janitor, and etc. Education costs a lot of money. We already heard a lot of comment from teachers because of how low their salary is. You can see the data from ideas with honor teacher, like 45 of them has in debt. If you make education free, you make them more poor. Do you want that? Do you want that? Do you want to cut their salary even deeper? And if we make all the education free, like Miss Cynthia said, it will surely make a new big problem, which is overcrowding. I have a question. Are we sure we can handle it? Are we sure Indonesian system education can handle it? Even now, Indonesian education is struggling to provide a proper many students out there that cannot have a proper education. What if we implemented this motion and wave of students come to study? Are we sure we can handle it? And that's why while we free students contact the team, like a really good dream, in practice it will lead to unsustainable budget, lower education quality, waste of resource, and make the workers' quality become worse than already is. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Risky of the opposition. Mr. Risky spent 4 minutes and 32 seconds. Now let us hear from the third speaker of the affirmative. You have 5 minutes. Mr. Rosello, the time is yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, judges and everyone here. I'm Salo, the third speaker from the affirmative team, and I am here to respond to the opposition arguments and summarize why we strongly believe that all education should be free. From the beginning, our team has shown that education is a human right and not a privilege. If we want a strong and fair country, we must make sure that every child, no matter if they are rich or poor, can go to school without worrying about the cost. In Indonesia today, millions of children still cannot finish their education just because their families cannot afford transportation, uniforms, books, or universities fees. Sorry, not this time. That's why we believe education should be free, not only the tuition, but also the hidden costs that stop poor students from learning. When more people can study, the country gets more skilled workers, lower unemployment, and more innovation. Education builds a smarter population, and smarter population means a better future for Indonesia. Even our Constitution, Article 31, Pasal 31, says that the government must fund education for every citizen. So, we're not asking for something new. We're asking the government to do what it has already promised. Now let me respond to the opposition. They said that free education is too expensive and that the government might not be able to pay for it. But we believe that education is not a cost. It is an investment. Just like we build roads and hospitals, we also need to build mines. If people are educated, they'll get a better job and pay taxes, which actually help the country earn more money in the future. They also said that free education lowers quality, but this only happens when there is no proper planning. Look at the countries like Finland and Germany that the opposition team has said before. They give free education and still have excellent schools and universities. Why? Because they make education in a top priority. Indonesia can do the same if we focus on the smart budget use. The opposition also claimed that students may become lazy if they don't pay. But that's unfair to many students who work very hard but cannot continue school because of many problems. Free education gives them a chance to success. Lastly, they talk about overcrowding. Yes, more students will come, but isn't that good thing? It means more people want to learn. The real solution is not to stop them, but to improve school facilities, hire more teachers, and increase funding for education infrastructure. In conclusion, we believe that making education free is not only about being fair to everyone, but also about helping Indonesia grow into a better country. Education gives people a chance to get out of poverty, find good jobs, and help the economy and move the country forward. Free education is not just a dream, it is something that makes sense, something important, and something we can really make happen. And it was for all, but with the note that the process was done little by little. Nothing is instant, like a magic show. No, there's not. That is why me, the affirmation team, truly support this motion. That's all education should be free. Lastly, education is not a privilege for a few. It is a right for all in the foundation of a nation's future. I'm Salvandra. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sello of the affirmative. Mr. Sello spent 4 minutes and 6 seconds. Now let us hear from the third speaker of the opposition. You have 5 minutes. Ms. Sasa, the time is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Anissa Salsa Biloybowo, and I'm the third speaker from the opposition team. I'm here to explain again why we disagree with the motion that all education should be free. Our team has clearly shown that although this idea sounds good, in reality, it causes problems like high cost, lower quality, and less students' responsibility. And I will summarize our arguments and respond to the affirmative team. Our speaker explained that if education is fully free from kindergarten to university, it will cost a lot. In a country like Indonesia, this is hard to afford. If the government uses too much money on education, there might be less budget for things like healthcare, infrastructure, and poverty support. They also said quality can drop, schools may become overcrowded, teachers might get less salary, and the learning environment could suffer. Our second speaker added that system may become too full, especially in rural areas where school already struggle. He also said that students might become less motivated when they don't have to pay anything like in Germany, where students often take longer to graduate. Now let's look at the affirmative team's argument. They say education is a human right, and we agree, but that doesn't mean it must be 100% free. Helping the poor through scholarship is better than making everything free for everyone. They also give data about dropouts and quality, but again, giving target support is more effective than giving free education to people who may not even need help. They also mention Germany and Finland, but those countries are rich, have small population, and very different from Indonesia, so we can copy them directly. In conclusion, making all education free may sound good, but it can cause big problems, unsustainable budgets, overcrowding, and less motivated students. We believe a better solution is to support those who truly need help and keep our education system strong and fair. That's why we strongly oppose this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Salsa of the opposition. Ms. Salsa spent 2 minutes and 17 seconds. Thank you to all speakers for your insightful and passionate arguments. That concludes our debate on the motion, this House believes that all education should be free. With that, we officially close today's debate session. Thank you very much.
Video adventure